Hi Cynthia. Okay, so here's your past life spread. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at where we are, what you did with the majority of your time, an important day, another important day, the death, and the lesson learned. And we'll get hints of time throughout. And all I'm going to do is relay to you the images and impressions that I'm getting. And your job is going to be to try to make connections where you can from what we're looking at here to your current life, okay? All right, so let's start. Here we have Europe, so we're going to Europe, and I feel like we're looking at Western Europe. I feel like we're looking at a place that is either in or right next to a major city that we know today, like one of the romantic cities like Paris or somewhere in Germany or even somewhere in Amsterdam. So we're looking at Western Europe, and then we're looking at the northern part, but not the UK. So before you jump over that waterway there, we're looking at the northern part. So we're looking like there's Germany, there's Amsterdam, and France that's popping up, and it looks like a very, like, wherever you are, it's a very clean place. And we're looking at female life, okay? So let's move forward with that. But just so you know, like, little connections you can make if you're drawn to Europe, if you're drawn to France or Germany, like those Western European romantic countries at all. If that's something that you've been drawn to, you like the decor, the art, the history, whatever it is, those are little connections you can make, okay? So let's go here. What you do with the majority of your time, this is the teacher card. And what it really feels like is we're looking at a nun. I feel like we're looking at one of those nuns that are teachers with the black habit and everything. And we're starting off with someone who's relatively young. And I feel like we're going to start where right before that decision is made or that decision is being made, because we're going like right there. We're not looking at your childhood or anything. So I'm just trying to see what else there is. You teach children. So in your current life, you could be someone who works with the youth or works with youth, who is a teacher, who has a good ability to teach. So you can be something else but still be a good teacher. You know what I mean? You don't have to actually be pursuing teaching. Or you could be someone that actually got along with your teachers really well. So just keep that in mind as well. You also, on the flip side, might have issues with authority, if that makes sense. So keep that in mind. Now let's go to the first important day. Here we have the Enlightenment card. Usually this means when someone's soul is growing a bit in some way. There's some like aha moment or something is happening. Some realization is occurring. Here we have the Friends card. So that's the relationship involved. And then the feelings involved primarily are torn feelings. So I feel like, honestly, this is what we're looking at here is the day where you decide to join the nunnery or to pursue that. And what we're looking at, I feel like, is kind of a graduation from school. Like, I feel like we're looking at someone who is, 17 or 16, 17, 18, like teenager, graduating from school, and there's a feeling of you just being different from your friends. And there's also a time that comes where you and your friends are talking and your friends are trying to talk you out of it, and you realize, I think that's this aha moment, the enlightenment is there, there's friends and then there's people that understand you. And these were not people that understood you. They were just acquaintances more than anything. There wasn't that strong bond. There was nothing like the strong pull you felt to go into the nunnery or those duties that you felt with these people. And these are like school friends. And it's like on this day you realize how like insignificant these kinds of friends are. Even though every person is our teacher, yes, I get that. But like you realize like if you were to not pursue what you want to pursue because of what they said, you kind of got a glimpse into the future of not feeling secure with yourself, being lost, wishing you did what you wanted to do. It's almost like you got a little dose of hindsight before it hit, which is like awesome. And the torn feelings are that. It's do I go with these people who are normal and live a normal kind of existence, or do I go and follow what my heart is telling me and go into the nunnery and serve God and do those kinds of duties? And so in your current life, you might find that you're coming up with the same obstacles, like you're a people pleaser perhaps, or you're finding that you're easily swayed, or you're persuaded, you found yourself persuaded to do things you didn't want to do. Maybe you've learned from it, maybe you haven't, but I feel like this is coming up just as like a stronger message to really focus on what you want and not give any weight to other people around you, at least not people that you don't significantly care about, like coworkers, or like you can love people you work with, but they're not family, and they're not people who are always looking out for your best interest. And really, even like spouses sometimes, like even family members aren't always looking out for your best interest. They can love you, but they're living their life and they're looking out for their best interest. So I feel like this is coming up to like remind you that really you have your best interests in mind, and only you know what you really want. It can be confusing sometimes. Sure, we can want like 3 things, 5 things, but we have to take that first step towards one of them to start. So it's almost like, if that's speaking to you, I feel like that would be speaking to you to start pursuing the things that you really want to do, even if others might think it's weird, or others are telling you not to, or it doesn't really go, you know what I mean? Like, people might see you a certain way and you could be changing, and people don't see the change, but you can feel the change. So only you would know what to do. So I feel like that is why we're looking at this right now, at this day, is for you just to remember to do what you want to do. There's going to be changes happening. We all go through changes, and it's so important that you pursue what you want, because you don't want to be looking back years later wishing you didn't listen to that person and you listened to yourself. You know what I mean? Also, if you are a people pleaser in some sense, this is kind of like a little reminder to stop it. Like, it's always good to help people, but not to the point where you compromise your own health or well-being or mindset or whatever. So yeah, help people, but don't compromise yourself for other people anymore, because it's really important that you start pursuing what you're supposed to be pursuing. And when you follow what you want to do, the excitement, that passion, when you follow that, that means you're on the right path. You want to be on the right path. So don't follow what other people tell you, follow what you want to do. So let's go to the next important day. Here we have the card where they've come, they're welcome, or conquered. It's usually when newcomers are coming into the area. And we have the karmic card here, which means the relationship involved is someone that you've seen before in other lives or will see again. And then here we have the I can do it confidence card. And so I'm trying to see what this is. In the meantime, what it's feeling like we're looking at, honestly, I feel like we're not going anywhere past the 20s or teens. I feel like we're looking at the very, very, very early 20th century. So keep that in mind as well, if that time period has ever spoken to you in the way of like even the clothes they wore, the music they listened to, or, just things like that. I feel like we are looking here at this day, I feel like there is something about, I feel like it's like a rumblings of like a war, like there's a disharmony between 2 nations that are nearby, and I don't even think it's you, but I think it's like you're in the middle of 2 countries that are not doing well with each other. So I feel like often wherever you are gets caught in the crosshairs. And there might be some, what's the word when there's, well, like, some people are hurt or some people are killed or whatever it is. And I feel like you are in a place that's considered sanctuary. So it's a very safe place. And I feel like we see people coming to your sanctuary or it's almost like, maybe it is a nunnery or a church or whatever it is. It's a sanctuary of a place, and I feel like people are coming in, and these feelings that you have are, like we're seeing the confidence card, because you feel like this is what you were born for, like this is what you were meant for, to help people in need. And I feel like it's almost like how the gypsies are like or were like run out and chased and killed, and they had to go seek sanctuary somewhere or go find a place. I feel like we're looking at a sect of people or a group of people who are coming in and seeking sanctuary. It's almost like they don't speak the same language as their native tongue. But it doesn't matter, because you're there to serve people and you're there to serve God. And so people are coming to the sanctuary, and this gives you confidence, because this is what you, again, it feels like it's what I was meant to do. There's such a feeling of, there's such like a knowing, like it's so nice, like, because a lot of people are in a job and they're like, why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing here? Like, like people get caught or stuck in jobs when they think they're going to be moving on soon, and then they get stuck there forever, and they're like, well, I don't know what I'm doing here. Here, it's like you're born for this, you chose it, you were ready for it, and you were excellent at it. And it's just a feeling of being where you need to be, when you need to be there, and who you need to be. And so in your current life, if you're feeling lost at all in your job or yourself, you can always find your way again simply by pursuing your passion or following your excitement. Whatever makes you happy and excites you, that as soon as you take a step towards following that, things will fall into place. This is also, the karmic card too. I feel like what this is actually speaking of is your relationship with God, because I feel like this is when it's coming into play more than anything. I mean, he's there every day with you, but more than any other time, it's like when this happens, this is a big full-on message to you. You feel like it is a divine message, that it's like, yes, you chose the right decision, you made this right decision, you're in the right place at the right time, you are exactly where you need to be. And we don't always get those kinds of signs, that's amazing. So that's why it's actually a really good day. Even though there are some people suffering, for your own soul, it's a wonderful, amazing moment where you realize, I made the right choice, I'm exactly where I need to be. And that's why it's so important to listen to yourself and follow your own desires, because everyone has their own. Everybody has their own, like, very specific things that they want. So for you to do what other people want would be silly, because they have their own thing and it's not meant for you. We're all born into this world alone. Like, we're all meant to do our own mission. So that I feel like this is where it's like you finally see that's your mission, and it's such a profound feeling. So it's almost like that feeling, I feel like it's coming up because you can have that feeling. Maybe you've already found it in your career or having a family, whatever it is, but if you haven't found it yet, again, it's there for you. It's there. You can tap into this energy of knowing that you've had it before, and you can have it again if you just follow your heart, right? So keep that in mind. Now we look at the death card here, and here is death by water. And I'll tell you right away what it feels like. It feels like a weird freak accident having to do with flooding where you live, almost specifically in your room or wherever you're standing. I just feel like something happens where flooding deteriorates an interior piece, and the piece, it's almost like it, what's it called? Like, it gets warped, so it almost, like, there's a domino effect basically, and I feel like the domino effect either starts with water or ends with, there's water, like, okay, so let's say it's raining hard and it hits a certain spot over time, and the spot softens, and then it becomes disjointed and like a beam falls. And I feel like that beam falling is what hits you. I feel like you're standing at the wrong place at the wrong time, okay? So in your current life, how that can like stem over is, one, if you're paranoid for no reason, like about things like looking over your shoulder or making sure things are secure. That could be it if that speaks to you. 2, security of your home. 3, you could be OCD about projects that you do. Things have to be perfect, because if things are perfect, they're not going to fall. Also, you might have chronic neck, back, or head issues, because I feel like this wham just fell on your head kind of thing. Also, you might have mouth issues too, because I feel like what it did is just like kind of like fell on you and you like plopped to the ground face first. So I feel like, like tooth issues, tooth decay issues, gum issues. and sensitive gums also, like even like weird stuff, like sensitive gums, like when you drink cold water, you know how it like really hurts your teeth or whatever. But yeah, mostly it's like the back, neck, and the head area. If you have like headaches, or if you need to like crack your neck or get massages a lot because you're so stiff or stressed out or whatever, it's all gathering right there, that would stem from here too. Oh, also you might not like driving in the rain. You might be scared for other people who you know are driving in the rain. The rain might bother you in that way. Now for the lesson card here, we have the brain card, which is kind of cool. This speaks to smarts and strategy and learning, and that's what you did here. Like everything, smart, strategy, and learning. It's everything here. So learning, you're teaching. You're also learning as you teach. You're learning how to more fully commit to your role that you're playing in this life of your mission being in the nunnery. You're using your brain because you're actually teaching academic subjects. You're a smart woman. Also, this woman, though, her personality is pretty no-nonsense, kind of your typical nun, like just in that way. So if it connects to you in that way where people, either one, you might have a very, what do they call it, like a resting bitch face or something, or you might have a personality that's very like unanimated, or it's very like, or it might be very, what's it called, where it's pretty even-keeled, like very even-keeled. Or on the flip side, because you were so even-keeled here, you might come back in this life as someone who's very animated and emotional and blah, you know, like, so our souls like to experience opposite things. But that's how I see this woman here, at least. And how that lesson fits into is using your mind, using your brain, the strategy, helping these people. You're using your brain, but there's also a connection between brain and heart, and you have it. Not everyone has that. And you basically like used your brain because you were able to first use your heart in making this decision to do this. And that decision was not purely just heart-based. I mean, that was strategic as well. That was using your brain as well. Like you were figuring things out. You're trying to that's all this is. Teaching kids and serving God and serving people who need help. It's a life of trying to figure things out and help others, and that's what you did. And I feel like this is coming back into your life, and this is a message for you today to not, honestly, it's like, don't label things and don't put things in boxes, especially yourself. Don't say, I'm this way, so I can't be that way. I'm this way, so this isn't meant for me. Just because you might be highly intellectual or academic or one specific way doesn't mean you can't also be creative and frivolous even, or just like different things that being one way, most people don't think of including other things, but you can be as well-rounded as you want to be. And I feel like that's coming in too, to speak to you, to pursue what you want to pursue, and don't let others sway you towards other avenues that don't feel as right to you. They might sound good, but they don't feel right. So always go with what feels right over, you know, what sounds good or what looks good on a resume or whatever that may be. You know what I mean? So there's your past life. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you were able to make connections. And thanks for letting me read you.